City.
7:41, welcome back to Breakfast Television. Joining me now is Pasquale Fulginiti. Buongiorno.
Good morning.
Now, Pasquale, we've already been chatting. There are a lot of parents out there who are having troubles right now with their little ones, who are having tantrums, who are fighting too much, especially in public. We've all seen it. It gets so awkward and you don't know how to react.
Right.
So I was just talking to you because you're an expert on the subject. You're holding seminars. In fact, one on January 27th. They can go to Kid Stuff Seminars for info.
Right, absolutely.
But I said, do you have kids?
Right.
And you say, yeah.
I have, 3 children. I have Stephanie, who's 15. She'll be 16 February 1st.
Wow.
We have Anthony, who's 12, and Catherine, of course, is 9.
So you're talking from not only the studies over the years, but from experience.
Right, from a little bit of experience, yeah.
And you're saying these are tested, these are tried and true remedies?
Absolutely, yes. The theory began in 1963 by Alfred Adler and Rufus Dreykus, and then further developed by other expertise, Leo Buscaglia, Barbara Coloroso, and here I am now in the 2007.
Let's get through it. First of all, you say tantrums come in different forms.
They do.
And it's usually age-specific.
Absolutely.
So let's start with toddlers, work our way up.
Sure. There are 4 forms of tantrums. The first one is toddler. Second one would be early childhood, which is preschool.
Okay.
We have middle age or middle childhood, which is a school-age kid. Okay. And then, of course, the late childhood, the adolescence.
So tell me, what do we see in the toddlers?
In the toddlers, they go off in tantrums because of the limitation, because they're strapped in a car seat or they're limited as to their space, mobility, even verbal skills. They don't have what it takes to communicate, so they'll just go off in a tantrum, and they'll just start screaming and yelling and hollering.
So how do you deal with that, and should it differ if you're in a public place versus in your own home?
Actually, no. It should be consistent, firm and consistent as well. For a toddler, what you have to do, especially if you're going to a public place, make sure he's well fed or the baby's well fed. He's not bored. He's not tired.
But how do you do that? Let's say, for Christmas 2 weeks ago, went to my church.
Absolutely.
2 children just lost it. And when one heard the other one lose it, it was one of those mimicking things.
Yeah.
And you felt so sorry for the parents because there was just nothing they could do to calm them. How do you deal with situations like that?
Well, my brother and my sister-in-law, what happens is when they go to an excursion or an event, they bring the pajamas, 9 o'clock is bedtime, and they put the children down. Who said they have to be up till midnight?
So consistency.
Absolutely, consistency. So what's practiced at home is also practiced outside.
Okay, and then how do you deal with it? So let's say that you're grocery shopping, and you know you need a good 40 minutes.
Right.
And they're strapped inside the cart.
Right.
And then they lose it.
Yeah.
How do you deal?
Finding alternatives. You don't need to bring the baby within that half hour, and if you do, make sure it's after the child wakes up, after the child's being fed. So it's all about scheduling.
Okay, and then should you leave the area immediately if they start throwing a tantrum, or should you just let them ride it out? How do you deal with it?
Yeah, you can let them ride it out, absolutely. It's more about us, whether or not we're able to cope with their tantrum. Early childhood child, a preschooler, will have a tantrum, and their tantrums will be mostly because of they hear the word no. They're egocentric children, and just the word no will turn them spinning into a tantrum. And what a parent can do in that case, instead of having the burden of listening to that tantrum, is offering, having the children become more of giving alternatives to the word no.
Okay.
So, for example, instead of saying, for the child says, Mom, can I have a cookie? And instead of saying, no, you can't, you can say, yes, after dinner.
Okay, again, let's say you're in a mall, you're doing your shopping, and then they see a toy.
Right.
They freak out, I want that toy. They start wailing. Do you try and calm them? Do you say, well, if you're good, maybe I'll get you something later? What do you do? How do you address that?
Well, every kid has a wish list. And if they say, Mom, I want this on TV, or Mom, can I have this, or can I have a toy right there on the spot? What happens is you pull out your paper and your pen that every parent should have and write it down. Say which toy exactly did you want? It's that one there, and writing it down. I had my daughter, when we went to Walmart, she started to pull a little tantrum saying, I want the doll. I said, no problem, here we go. She wants the doll, Barbie, marked, serial number, and we put everything down. And my daughter turned... Well, we have it on the wish list. You can put it on the fridge, and when it comes time to a birthday, you can buy whatever's on the wish list. And we do that at Christmas, don't we? We say, here, choose 3 toys, and we'll see which one Santa's able to bring.
Well, what if they want a chocolate bar, and you don't want to get them the chocolate bar because of the sugar in it?
Well, you can get them a chocolate bar, you can get them alternative, but they don't have to eat it right away. kids just know that they can have something and they can eat it after dinner.
So definitely address them. Don't ignore them. I know a lot of parents just try and pretend it's not happening, and then they just get louder and louder. Now, for a teenage child, how do you deal with that?
Okay, with a teenage child, we have children that will go into tantrums. Theirs is mostly verbal. They would say, "I hate you. You're the meanest mom in the whole wide world." Yeah. And what you do with that is you have to say what you said is no and stick to it. You can't change a no to a yes, because especially teenagers, they'll know that they can manipulate.
So important to know you have to be firm. So many parents think they have to be friends. You're supposed to be the disciplinarian, right?
Right.
Well, lots more to come, so much to talk about. We have segment 2 coming up with Pasquale. If you guys have any questions, email us at bt@citytv.com. He is here to help you out. Over to Kevin in the newsroom. Thank you.
City News everywhere.
Welcome back, everybody. Here to talk some more Pasquale Fulginiti. You are wonderful. So much great information. We want to talk about now fighting.
Absolutely.
You expect it from kids, but there comes a time where you say, what more can you do as a parent? What can you do? How do you control it? And is some sort of aggression or level of fighting healthy?
Right, absolutely. I tell parents in these seminars that we offer that fighting is not only healthy, but it's also natural. And in fact, you want as a parent to have your children fight, believe it or not. So when your kids are fighting, just say, I have normal and healthy kids. Now, what you don't want is for them to enter into conflict violently, so where there's punching and hitting and destruction of toys or that nature. What you do want is your children to enter into conflict and let them handle it non-violently and let them solve problems for themselves.
But I grew up in a house, 3 girls, very different than my cousins, 3 boys, who definitely were aggressive and they loved doing the fight. How do you control that?
Right. Well, you don't want to control it. You want to empower it. So what you want to do is you want to give the ownership to the children, because it's their fights, not yours. You won't be there in the schoolyard when they get into fights. So you want to teach them social skills, especially the young ones. When you see the older sibling picking on the young one, you want to take the young one in, because, if you don't go there to stop it, guaranteed the kids will come to you with the story.
Okay.
Mom, he took my eraser. Then you want to give the younger one the words, the social skills. Say, well, you need to go back to your brother and explain. You may have it after I'm finished.
Now, I know a lot of parents always say, and I've been babysitting a lot, you'll see such a difference amongst the siblings. And they say, why is one so good? It's so bad to say that. And why is the other one such trouble? Is it nature versus nurture? Is one genetically inclined or predisposed to be a little more aggressive? Is it a conditioned behavior? Why do some kids cause more problems?
Yeah. Some children's needs aren't being met. When they do fight, they're telling you, I need mom's attention. It could be, I'm into looking for power, and fighting is an excellent way of gaining that power. It can also be revenge, saying, I don't like you. You're favored by mom and favored by dad, so this is my way. Or you've hurt me in the past, and now this is my way of hurting back, is by taking the toy and making you go, in your little tantrum.
So let's say you have one child who's repeatedly doing something, really bad in terms of their behavior, be it stealing a toy from their sibling over and over and over. How, as a parent, do you address that if you say, maybe something is up here? How do you figure out what it is, and how do you fix it?
Okay. Well, one of the 4 reasons, the 4 reasons why children misbehave, whether they fight, whether they steal, whether they lie, is, like we mentioned, is attention, power, revenge, or even a feeling of inadequacy. And knowing which model it is, you can tackle it from there. For example, if the child is misbehaving or fighting because of mom's attention, what you can do is give the attention when the child is not demanding it. So when you see them sharing and when you see them talking nicely to each other, approach them, say, I really like the way you two are working it out. I like the way you two are sharing. When the child realizes that you're giving them the attention for the desired behavior, you'll notice that the fighting will
But then you're still splitting the attention equally. If that child feels like they're not getting enough, should you spend some more alone time just with them?
Right, absolutely. Giving them your presence is the best present you can give to your kids. Giving them your time, your quality time. That's why it's also important to have pillow talks or having one-on-one with kids, special nights with children, giving them the attention. And you'll notice that they won't misbehave for attention when they're fighting. It could be a social need that they need or a social skill for you.
Wonderful advice. Thank you so much, Pasquale. For more info, you're holding a seminar January 27th in Midland. For more info, you do many seminars, don't you?
Throughout the year.
Okay. Go to kidstuffseminars.com or call 905-502-0066. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Over to Jenny at Live Eye. She has some kids, so she knows all about this stuff.